Hey y'all, welcome back.
It's Wednesday, and yes, we're winging it.
At least one more time for a little while.
We'll talk more about that in a minute, but this is a special Winging It because we have our friend Marc with us from Grand Adventure. Welcome, Marc.
I am so happy to be here.
He and his wife and pup are traveling around Texas, and so we wanted to have him come on and share his thoughts. That's the topic of this week's Winging It. Okay, so we're really excited to have Marc with us.
And I'm really excited to meet two folks who were some of the first RV YouTubers I followed.
Oh, wow.
So, this is exciting.
Awesome. And we've been following Marc's channel since, I think, just about where you began.
It's been just almost right around 2 years, almost exactly right now.
And he's got a great channel. We're going to give you more information about that. But first, before we get started, we need to say thank you to you guys. Last weekend on Winging It, we asked the question, should we even continue with Winging It? Was it something you guys were interested in? We asked for feedback and suggestions, and you guys are awesome. We knew that. We've gotten some great responses. Some folks who said, I don't really need it. Others, and a ton of others, who said they love it, they look forward to it. And so
I cast my vote.
He did. He cast his vote on Twitter. I saw it.
Yeah.
So we will be continuing with Winging It. Thank you very much.
But we are going to take a break, though. And when it comes back, and we're going to kind of see, it may change a little bit. Maybe it'll be every other Wednesday, maybe once a month. We're not sure. We've gotten a lot of great suggestions from you guys. We'll look into it, but it will be coming back.
Yes, it will. And so we have read all your comments. Thank you so much for those. We can always count on you guys for giving your feedback and sharing great ideas. And we're going to incorporate some of those ideas when we bring Winging It back. So for now, our Sunday videos are going to continue, and Winging It will be back in a few weeks. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
So now, you know the rules of Winging It. We set the timer on my phone, normally for 10 minutes, but since Marc is with us and he's an interesting dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
We're going to set it for 15 minutes today.
Yeah, special extended Winging It.
There you go. So 15 minutes on the clock.
Well, this helps to make up for the next week or two.
Yeah, there
You go. See, we're just front-loading Winging It. All right, timer set. We're Winging It. All right. Well, God, we've been looking forward to meeting you for so long.
So have we. We were so excited we were able to coordinate this.
Absolutely. And I know we're down at the Texas Gulf Coast, in case you don't know. And I know a lot of you guys.
Yes, it is warm.
I'll vouch for that too.
Yes, and Marc is one that warm isn't what he normally does.
Well, when we do warm, it's the humidity. You guys have humidity in spades, and it is certainly not something I'm used to anymore. But we're getting there. We've been down here for a few weeks now and starting to get acclimated a bit more.
There you go. Now I know a lot of y'all already subscribed to Marc's channel, which is Grand Adventure. But for those of folks who maybe haven't seen your channel yet, why don't you give us a little rundown on what you're about?
Absolutely. We're kind of a full-time, part-time, if that makes sense to anybody. We tend to travel for 2, 3, 4 months at a time, and then we'll go back to our sticks and bricks home in Salt Lake City for a little bit, and then try and get back out on the road again. Mostly what we do is boondocking. This is very unusual for us being in an RV park, but down here in this part of Texas, we really don't have a heck of a lot of option there. But we try to get to some of the most spectacular places that we can bring people. We tend to really focus on the cinematic delivery of our content and try to show people some of the most spectacular places that we have in this country.
And I got to tell you, he does do that. We were talking last night when we were eating dinner together, and I was telling him his cinematography is phenomenal.
Oh, you're making me blush over here.
And I mean, Utah, where he goes a lot,
yeah, being from there.
Yes, being from there is incredible. We can't wait to get back up there. We flew through it on our way back from our last trip. We're going to get back up there and spend time with Marc and his wife.
Absolutely.
Because
it would be our pleasure.
they know how to do it. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when a lot of people think about Utah, they think about the Mighty Five national parks. You know, you have Arches, you have Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, Zion, and I'm drawing a blank. Oh no. Anyway, they think of the Mighty Five national parks, but they don't realize just how much off the beaten path Utah has to offer.
Right.
I mean, you've got a state where it's 80% public land, be that BLM, national forest, national parks, what have you. So there's a ton to see and do.
Yeah, Marc was telling us last night, he's going, the thing that throws me off, even if I have to pay $10 for camping, that's more than I normally pay. He's used to camping for free.
And we're used to, you know, throwing open the trailer door and letting the dog run and be a dog and have a good time. And when you're in a campground, obviously they need to be leashed to comply with the campground rules. So Zoe's not getting a lot of exercise right now.
And Zoe is so cute.
No, she's
Oh, she is. And Marc does a lot of this right here.
We do a lot of drone videography.
And it's beautiful too. And it kind of blows my mind. We talked about it yesterday is, you know, you hear about, oh, the national parks, you can't have drones and stuff. Well, Marc's staying outside, just outside the national parks.
Absolutely. I mean, the vast majority of public land, you most certainly can use a drone on, as long as you're at least 5 miles away from the nearest airport. National parks, that is absolutely true, or national park service operated land. But as long as you're outside that boundary, and let's face it, it's a very small portion of the public land out there, you can do amazing videography with a drone that gives you a perspective that you can't get any other way.
Yeah, I agree.
So right now you guys are visiting Texas.
We
I
are.
want to talk about that a little bit. He just published a video. He publishes videos every Wednesday, by the way.
Correct.
And his most recent one, as we filmed this, was Big Bend. And I know a lot of you guys have been there and want to go there.
Beautiful place. Absolutely beautiful place.
We're still going. That was, I don't know what that was.
Okay.
I think that was Grammy K. And so what are some of the other things that you're going to be showing later on your channel?
Well, the next episode coming up this Wednesday at, 8 o'clock Central Time, we'll premiere an episode from South Padre Island. After that, we'll be bringing folks here to Padre Island National Seashore.
Oh, cool.
After that, we're a little undecided at the moment. We have plans to go to Austin. We're finding trouble getting a spot that we actually want in Austin. We may extend this a little bit, head up to Canyon Lake, north of San Antonio.
Good place.
And looking forward to that. And then work our way back through northwestern Texas, back into New Mexico as we find ourselves slowly making our way back to Utah.
Do you have any plans to maybe go to Caprock or Palo Duro?
Not at the moment, but everything is subject to change.
Yeah.
All depends on the weather. All depends on our moods. We're working.
If you want to see bison, you go to Caprock.
Absolutely. And, certainly get to see them all over the place.
Yeah.
That is a
in many
good
different
point,
spots.
though. You do work from the road.
I do work from the road. So we're on this trip, we're kind of stationary Monday to Friday because I have to be available during business hours. And we've been moving on the weekends. Now, normally, I try not to move on the weekends because that's when you find every place to be full.
Right.
But this time around, we are having to move on the weekends because I need to be available.
Marc
Has that
is
been a challenge for you?
Not at all. We found a great solution that provides us with the data service that we need. And all I really need to work is a phone and a PC with internet service. So.
On that note, you could go to Marc's channel. You'll see. He just did a video a couple weeks ago that was phenomenal. That every RVer that's on the road very long needs to see because it's about connectivity on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the name of that video?
It's under, what did we call it? Unlimited cheap internet for your RV. So basically it's a $40 a month service with no caps, no throttling, and unlimited hotspot.
Yeah, because he teaches you how to do the hotspot and everything. And I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. And everybody else has seen it. If you haven't seen it yet, you probably want to go see it.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's
Appreciate
doing
that.
well. And
I mean, it's been a godsend for us not to have to worry about, burning data while streaming video or anything like that, or uploading videos to YouTube, because it's uncapped.
Yeah.
yeah, and we need to look into it too.
So, okay, you're in Texas. What was your expectation? Have you been to Texas before now?
Not other than changing planes in Houston or Dallas.
Okay. So what was your expectation of what you would find here versus so far what your experience has been?
It's been very consistent with what our expectations were, Stacy. Certainly the Gulf Coast is everything we hoped, and actually somewhat more. We lived for 8 years on the Gulf Coast of Florida, so now we're seeing the Gulf from the other perspective, watching the sun rise across the water instead of the sunset across the
Right.
water.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And we've had some beautiful sunrises.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. A couple of things that we wanted to do, such as boondocking on the beach, we haven't been able to do because the temperatures at this time of year have been a little higher than we expected.
Yeah.
But we've got our fingers crossed for a cold front later this week.
Yeah.
That we can move out onto the sand and watch the tide come in and get way too close to the RV.
It's a grand adventure.
Indeed. And we have proven over time that grand adventure often means the kind of adventure you really didn't plan on.
And
Yeah.
Mark will take his camper to some pretty amazing places that I don't think we'd be brave enough to go.
I think
in our
Stacy
RV.
would have problem taking the Jeep in some places that Mark has taken the RV.
We've done a lot of off-roading over the years, and frankly, pulling the trailer, well, I'll put that screw back in after it vibrates out from running down a rough BLM or forest road.
Yeah,
So.
because Mark, when we first saw his channel, if you see his intro, I mean, he's an extremist. He does.
No, that's
he
not-
does a lot. I mean, he's one of these guys that jumps down into off the mountain into the snow, and skis down the deal we were talking about last night. I just can't believe it. And thank God he carries a beacon or whatever.
I do carry an avalanche beacon, yeah. But we, and that's the whole thing. We call Grand Adventure RV-centric outdoor adventure. So using the RV as a home base to go hiking and kayaking and mountain biking and in some cases skiing and various other outdoor pursuits that you can mix with camping
Right.
and make your life exciting.
So now that is an interesting thing. You said skiing and snow skiing we're talking about right now.
Yeah, we are.
He used to do some water sports though too.
He used to
You were
do some
talking about
windsurfing, yeah.
windsurfing.
Yeah.
But if you've taken the RV skiing before, so
We have.
I mean,
We most certainly
in
have.
freezing conditions.
We did an episode last March at Deer Valley Resort in Utah. We've brought it up to Alta a few times, mostly as a tailgate device. But no, last March we did an episode combining skiing and overnight RV camping at a state park up near Park City.
How do you keep it from freezing?
We have an insulated underbelly.
Okay.
And enclosed. We have tank pads we have heating pads in the tanks to keep the tanks from freezing.
Okay.
Our biggest issue is our dump valves are exposed. So we have those wrapped with heat tape and then insulation and some foil tape and what have you.
Okay.
To try and keep those from freezing and turn those on as need be.
Is the insulation good enough in the coach?
Yeah, I mean, technically it's a 3-season camper. I mean, it has the Arctic package label on it, but
Okay.
let's be honest with ourselves.
Right.
It's not intended to be a 4-season camper. But as long as you practice some safe protocols and preparations, yeah, you can get away with it. I mean, it went down to, probably in the low teens that night.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so basically any temperature you'd see in Texas, you just happen. I mean, we're not going to get below that.
There is no reason to not camp 12 months a year in Texas.
Well, in Texas, I think some of the best camping is in the winter.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't get extremely cold here.
Right.
And if you come down here,
Oh, this would be perfect.
The coast is phenomenal.
Yes.
The whole Texas coast during the winter is great because it's, you know, you get a lot of folks who come in from outside of Texas to get away from the cold. But, you know, a lot of times it's not extremely crowded. And you got birds. This is a migratory path for a lot of birds, and just beautiful.
And I'll tell you, those moors and marshland south of us in the National Seashore, the birding must be phenomenal.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. It's birders come from all over to come to this section of
And
Texas.
Stacy and I can't wait to get back to this area. We're going to be back this winter for sure, because it is incredible. The place we stayed the first night, it was a boondocking location in the National Seashore, but
Malachite Campground.
But it was a little bit too warm. We hit the nighttime and it got stagnant. We lost our breeze, and to us it wasn't fun. Let's put it that way.
Now, have you guys brought the rig down to this part of the Texas coast before?
This is the first.
Well, we've been to
first
Corpus
time.
Christi,
Yeah.
Okay.
Aransas Pass.
Yep.
We've been over to Lake Corpus Christi State Park,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is a little more inland. And Goliad, we love Goliad, which is almost this far south, but not quite. Very historical.
But
town.
we've always done it with hookups
Mhm.
until the other night. That was the first time. But let me tell you, in a few more weeks, it will be perfect.
Yeah.
It will be perfect.
We're off by a few weeks. We wish we'd have been able to come a little bit later, but ski season is calling. We need to be back in time for ski season.
It's snowing in Utah.
It is snowing in Utah at the moment as we're suffering out here. But no, Tom and I talked the night before our arrival. They got here one night before us and went to Malachite. And we talked on the phone that morning as we were packing up in South Padre, and I'm like, all right, nope, get me a hookup. I'll be there.
Yeah, and I think his wife had the same sentiment.
She most certainly did. She most certainly did. But again, they're looking at by Friday, highs in the mid-70s.
Which would be awesome.
Which would be absolutely perfect. So we are hoping to move later on this week.
Yeah, and we went with him and scouted out, you know, looked at North Beach and some of the surrounding beach areas.
And the sand was a lot firmer than I expected. I don't see any issues in pulling the trailer out there.
Yeah, and that appeared to have a lot of space too. I mean, it wasn't crowded.
No, but there were a few folks out there camping.
Yeah, there were a few.
There were a few folks camping, the hardier souls than I in these temperatures. But
and the tide has been coming in too.
There we go.
Timer.
So time is up. That flew by.
it did. It was a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah, so make sure you check out Marc's channel. I'll put a link in the description, Grand Adventure.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for meeting us here, first of all.
Yes, it's been
We're
a pleasure.
so glad we finally we've been
been a pleasure.
communicating online for a couple years.
Oh, a long time. Yes.
And I remember bugging you guys to spread your wings and get out of Texas a little bit.
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah. And boy, was he right, for
You
sure.
weren't the
I mean,
only
there's,
one.
yeah. I mean, there's, and we knew that.
I'm just teasing.
But no, I mean, there's stuff all over this great nation, and in Canada as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And we look forward to hitting all that stuff as well.
Do you ever stop to think about just how lucky we are to have been born where we were?
Oh,
It's amazing, isn't
there's
it?
no doubt. I
That's
think
for
about it
sure.
all the time.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. So if you're seeing this video Wednesday morning, then make sure you check YouTube again tonight, Wednesday evening, for Grand Adventure's premiere of
South Padre Island.
South Padre Island. Exciting. I haven't
Yes.
been there since college, and we won't wing that story. Until next time, y'all, we'll see you on Sunday. Safe travels.
And happy camping.
Bye.
See you guys.